Unlock your potential today at skillbakery.com.
Welcome back. Today we will be enhancing our story journey application by providing our stories with a title and an image. How we'll do that? We'll be making use of the official OpenAI library to achieve all these. Let's go ahead and find out how to do this. The first thing that you need to do is install the OpenAI library. So here you can see that I've installed using npm install OpenAI, and I've installed the latest version. Once I've done that, the next step is to go ahead and make changes to your storyjourney.jsx file. What all we have changed? Let's go ahead and find out. The first thing is importing the OpenAI library itself and then making use of the OpenAI to create the constructor over here. So here we are passing two things, API, which is obvious, and then you have this dangerously allow browser, which is set to true. This is required because anything that you pass using OpenAI library from browser is exposed to attackers. And if you are sure that you have mitigated this somehow, then you are more than welcome to make use of dangerously allow browser set to true. Otherwise, all such actions should be done from the server side. Now, since this is a demo and I need to cover all the aspects, so here we have set dangerously allow browser to true. If I exclude this, the application will not run and it will throw an error. Now, that being said, let's move ahead. After that, we have our two consts defined over here, title and image, and then we are initializing them over here when we are making the request. Afterwards, we are making use of the GPT 4.1 mini as the model, and then we have our input set over here. So now this prompt contains two things, a short creative title and a story, and we are requesting a JSON-like format. And then here's the prompt that we have provided. The temperature that we are setting is set to 0.9, which leads towards very creative. So it basically controls the creativity aspect. And then we have the max output token, which kind of restricts the response length. And then we have the output. So we have the raw text over here, just in case if we are getting some additional characters in the response, we are cleaning that out, and whatever clean text we are left with, we are passing it as JSON. Once parsed, we are retrieving the title and story from it and setting. Then we have our image generation. Here we are just passing two things, prompt and the size of the image. The prompt, as you can see, it says fantasy illustration or a story titled. And here we are sending the title, which we have generated for the story, and the prompt that the user has provided. Afterwards, we are also adding some effects like cinematic lighting and digital art. Afterwards, once the image is there, we are setting the URL. And then here in our HTML, we have updated this block. If you see, we now have the image, we have the title, and then the story. So we are generating the title and story first, so that will appear first, and then the image will be generated based on the title. Now, apart from this, we have also updated our storyjourney.css file. Over here, you can see that for image, we have set the width, border radius, box shadow, and margin bottom. So that's pretty much it. We're all set, and let's go ahead and see it in action. So here, let's go ahead and try one more. So here I have the story idea, a child who can talk to code instead of people. Let's click on generate story. So you can notice that the title and the story is coming first, and then after a while, the image will appear over here. And here you can see that the generate story is now back. And here we have our image for the story. And there we go. The whisperer of code. And this is the short story that we have.
If you find the video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.